What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trent, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. Now, as you all know, we have the WNBA playoffs going on, and the first round's already taken place. Now, the first two rounds are single elimination games, so I didn't want to put too much stock in those rounds. I'll give a more in-depth analysis on the final two rounds, but for these, just want to talk about them briefly because they were actually entertaining. Now, teams 5 through 8 of the playoffs played in the first two rounds, so we're going to talk about the Mercury versus the New York Liberty. Now, with that game, because that was actually thrilling, you didn't really expect the Liberty to make the playoffs. I mean, based on their point differential, meaning how many points they scored versus how many points their opposition scored throughout the season, it was the second lowest in the entire season. So that's not really typical, right? Like usually your playoff teams, they should have a higher point differential than that. That's not the case with them, and as a result, in this single elimination game, and the Mercury were missing Diana Taurasi, they were a scary opposition. I gotta say that. Laney, she was getting saucy out there, scoring 25 points and did her thing, like almost took the game into overtime. But Skylar Diggins-Smith, Brittney, Griner, and the crew, they proved to be too much. And as a result, they're going on to the next round. The question is, though, will Diana Taurasi be back? Because again, I said she was out with an injury, and she's been injured pretty much all this season. So will she be able to return for the playoffs? She knows her body. She's given the green light to come back if she needs to, but she chose not to. So we'll see how that goes. Now, the Chicago Sky. They ended up playing the Dallas Wings. And the Dallas Wings are actually a good team. Like, don't sleep on them, okay? Because you got Satou Sabally, even though she was coming back off injury, so that did hurt them a little bit. But you also got Arike Ogumbuwale, who is not a slouch. Remember, she was on the All-Star team, won All-Star MVP. She's doing her thing out there. She's also hit multiple buzzer beaters in college, so it's not like she's scared of the moment, right? Well, they weren't able to get over the hump, obviously, and that's simply because Candace Parker is a stud. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that. It was just one of those situations where, she understands, hey, job's not finished. Like, reminds you kind of like another player, doesn't it?
The way to take a big smile out of you. Light this bitch up. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or
Still to be happy about.
you're up 2-0?
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
I thought so. But yeah, so bringing that to this quality, talented Chicago Sky team, that was a missing piece. They were missing a certain leader who had this skill set. So adding this now to the Chicago Sky makes them completely dangerous. And it makes sense why they actually were able to outlast the Dallas Wings. The only thing I will say is this: focus. Because they did lose focus. They had an early lead. The Dallas Wings did collapse that gap to about maybe 3 points, something like that. They were able to hold on, which I did appreciate, but they still shouldn't have been in that situation, especially when they built up that lead like that. That's all I'm saying. So that's the only thing that I would note for the Chicago Sky. And then the Mercury, obviously they're missing Diana Taurasi. That's the easy 15 to 20 points you're missing right there. So and leadership. So that's obvious why they'll need that. Now for the next round though, the Mercury will be playing the Seattle Storm. And, of course, the Chicago Sky will be playing the Minnesota Lynx. So, what does that mean? We have a second round full of rivalries, people. Let's break these down. Because Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, again, they've gone back since UConn days. They were teammates back then, though. So, I don't know if I want to call them rivals, but maybe they were trying to outduel the other, per se, just to get that competitive edge going. So you might have something like that going. But then when they get to WNBA, they've had a couple of battles in the playoffs. Both have actually won championships. Both have also been to 5 gold medals on the USA team. So, or won 5 gold medals for the USA team. So, pretty accomplished. Who's the GOAT? Let's see. We won't get too many more moments like this. I think this is Sue Bird's last year, and DT is probably not too far away. So as a result, we got to cherish these moments, and I appreciate this rivalry game happening. The only thing that sucks about this is that Breanna Stewart is not playing, and we don't know if Diana Taurasi is going to play. She could, again, she has the green light, but she knows her body well. We'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, there's one thing, well, two, that I want to note. One, will Brittney Griner dominate, period, point blank? She's played well against the Storm, but at her height, at her size, at her skill set, she should be able to dominate most games. And especially with Breanna Stewart out of the lineup, she should be able to dominate this matchup. Not to mention, and this is the biggest one, to be honest with you guys, Jewell Loyd beat down the Mercury last game. Skylar Diggins-Smith, what did she say last game? Only about 7 points worthy of it, worthy of words. So I don't think she's going to only give 7 points again. And I don't see Jewell actually dropping the 37 piece again. And mind you, the difference in the last game was 9 points. That's it. So if it took that for Jewell and that for Skylar, and I don't foresee that happening again, mind you, and Brittney Griner is probably going to show up again too. Like she's been showing up consistently, as she consistently does. Then I expect for the Mercury. It's tough a little bit sometimes. I expect for the Mercury to outlast the Storm. They're going to weather the storm. But yeah, now for the Chicago Sky and the Minnesota Lynx, I do expect a good one here too. But why? Because again, it's a rivalry game. We got Sylvia Fowles and Candace Parker. Now they date all the way back to their LSU Tennessee days. And remember, they actually played in 2008 in the Final Four. Candace Parker ended up winning that matchup, but they've been put up against one another for like the longest. You can assume all the way to the high school days. Again, you play in college. You go 1 and 2 respectfully in the 2008 draft. Boom. Now you're in the WNBA. And remember, remember, I'm a Sparks fan. Candace Parker was on the Sparks. And we played against the Lynx in back-to-back-to-back finals. We lost 1-2 in the series, but those were still epic matchups. And I'm expecting something a little similar, even though it's only one game in this in this series. Well, I don't want to call it a series. Again, it's just one game. But the reason why is not because of those two, even though those two will be effective. But the Sky and the Lynx are actually good teams all around. So this will be a good game to watch. And one thing I want you guys to note is this. Naphessa Collier versus Candace Parker. If Naphessa Collier can remain playing the way she played, like typically against CP, I think CP is going to guard her, and I think Dolson from the Sky is going to end up guarding Sylvia Fowles. And remember, Dolson's about 6'5", but she can stretch the floor out. So you can try to take Sylvia Fowles out the paint, and now you got to worry about if Naphessa Collier is going to outduel Candace Parker, which I don't think that's going to occur. But can Dolson man the paint down against Sylvia Fowles? I think Fowles will get the advantage, but I think Dolson you can't sleep on too well. And again, because she shoots almost 40% from 3, I'm talking about Dolson, Sylvia Fowles now has to be outside the paint. And Naphessa Collier probably will have the better advantage on the perimeter, but you're going to have to put her down now in the block, which now that gives an even more advantage to Candace Parker. Talking advantages, let's talk about Collier versus Vandersloot, because these are the 2 point guards for both teams. Who's going to outduel the other? Because essentially that's what happened in their matchups. Whoever won the point guard matchup won the game. So that's going to be my key matchup. Those matchups that I mentioned, though, are noteworthy to watch. But Clarendon versus Vandersloot. If Clarendon can outscore and play well in the assist game, and that's compared to Vandersloot, then the edge is going to go to the Lynx. But I personally think that the Sky are going to be able to outduel the Lynx. So we should see the Aces and the Sun go up against the Lynx. The Sky and the Mercury. But I could be wrong. Let's find out. Let me know y'all thoughts below in the comment section. Do you have the Lynx or the Storm winning? Because, I mean, maybe y'all know something that I don't. Let me know. I want to come. I really want to know all the love. And then after the games happen, if we lost, or if my predictions are wrong, go ahead and let me have it. I don't care. Because it's just predictions, people. But I still believe that these underdogs, quote unquote, are going to come out and win. So, hope y'all have a good one. Hope you watch the games. Or at least watch the highlights. Or something. Please, give the WNBA some support. And also give me some support as well, too. Just saying. All right. See y'all.
I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, cut.